Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you're watching or listening to this. This is Sammy Squirrel, and seeing that the 14th Amendment is about to be big time in the news and the Democrats are going to be screeching and complaining. I figured I would break the 14th Amendment down and inform people on its original intention and meaning. Okay. Oops. I forgot. I gotta share it first. Okay. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm sharing. Yes, I am. Okay. The 14th Amendment: A Noble Purpose Twisted by Modern Abuse by Samuel Desquell. There's been a lot of talk about the 14th Amendment lately, and it will likely be in the next big win for President Trump's administration after the SCOTUS rules in his favor. I thought I would remind everyone about why the 14th Amendment was originally passed and ratified. I forgot, Dan. Dang it. The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution is one of the most consequential pieces of legislation in American history. Ratified in 1868, its original intent was noble and clear: to grant citizenship to former slaves and their children, ensuring that those who had been denied basic human rights under the horrors of slavery would finally be recognized as full American citizens. It was a direct response to the infamous Dred Scott decision that, everything in red is a hyperlink, which had cruelly declared that African Americans could never be citizens. The amendment's language is straightforward. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. But today, this amendment, meant to right a historic wrong, has been twisted into something its framers never intended. It's being abused by those who exploit its wording to game the system, draining resources from hardworking, legal American citizens who have paid the very programs being tapped by those who haven't contributed a dime. From birthing hotels to illegal immigrants using their U.S. born children as anchors for benefits, the 14th Amendment is now a tool for opportunism, not justice. Let me break it down how we got here and why it's time to rethink how we apply this amendment in the modern era. The meaning of the 14th Amendment. To understand the abuse, we first need to grasp the amendment's original purpose. The 14th Amendment was born out of the Civil War's aftermath, a time when the nation was grappling with how to integrate millions of newly freed slaves into society. Democrats in the South who had owned these slaves fought tooth and nail against granting them citizenship. The amendment was a direct challenge to that resistance, ensuring that the children of former slaves would be citizens with all the rights and protections that come with it. The key phrase, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, was included to make clear that not everyone born on U.S. soil automatically becomes a citizen. For example, Native Americans who are part of their own sovereign nations, and children of foreign diplomats were excluded because they weren't fully under U.S. jurisdiction. The amendment was never meant to be a blanket grant of citizenship to anyone who happened to be born here, regardless of their parents' status. The rise of birthing hotels and birth tourism. Fast forward to today, and the 14th Amendment has been stretched beyond recognition. One of the most blatant abuses is the phenomenon known as birthing hotels. These are businesses often catering to wealthy foreigners from countries like China, Russia, and the Middle East that offer pregnant women a place to stay in the U.S. until they give birth. The goal? To secure U.S. citizenship for their newborns, along with all the privileges that come with it: access to American education, health care, and the ability to sponsor family members for immigration later on. These women aren't fleeing persecution or seeking a better life out of necessity. They're gaming the system, exploiting a loophole in our laws to gain benefits they haven't earned. And while they may pay for their stay at these hotels, they're not contributing to the long-term cost their children's citizenship will impose on American taxpayers. Illegal immigration and the anchor baby loophole. It's not just the wealthy who are taking advantage. Illegal immigrants who cross the border and give birth in the U.S. also benefit from this misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment. Their children are referred to as anchor babies, automatically become U.S. citizens, which not only makes it harder to deport the parents, but also opens the door to a host of social services. Here's where the real injustice kicks in. These families can access Medicaid, food stamps, housing assistance, and more, all funded by the tax dollars of legal American citizens who have worked hard and paid into the system. Meanwhile, the illegal immigrant parents themselves may not have paid a single penny in federal taxes. Even if they do work, many are paid under the table or claim an outrageous number of dependents, sometimes up to 15 or more, to avoid paying their fair share. It's a double whammy. Not only are they dodging taxes, but they're also tapping into the benefits that were meant for citizens who have contributed. Imagine working your whole life paying into Social Security and Medicare, only to see those resources stretched thin by people who have never paid a single dime into the system. It's not just unfair, it's unsustainable. Medicaid and disability, a system under strain. Let's talk specifics. Medicaid, for example, is a federal state program designed to provide health care to low-income Americans, including pregnant women and children. Illegal immigrants themselves aren't eligible for most federal benefits, but their U.S.-born children are. So a pregnant illegal immigrant can receive Medicaid coverage for parental care and delivery. And once the child is born, that child qualifies for a slew of benefits: Medicaid, SNAP, which is food stamps, and even disability benefits if needed. Disability benefits like Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, are meant for Americans who have worked and paid into the system but can no longer work due to a disability or injury. Yet the children of illegal immigrants, citizens by birth, can access these resources without their families having contributed to the pool. It's a classic case of reaping where you haven't sown. This isn't about denying care to those in need. It's about fairness. Legal citizens have paid into these programs through years of hard work and taxes. Why should those who broke the law to enter the country or exploited a loophole get to skip the line? This conservative solution: restore the amendment's original intent. The 14th Amendment was never meant to be a golden ticket for birth tourism or a backdoor for illegal immigrants to secure benefits. Its purpose was to right a historic wrong, not to create a new one. It's time to revisit how we interpret this amendment, particularly the phrase "subject to the jurisdiction thereof." One common sense solution is to clarify that subject to the jurisdiction means that at least one parent must be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident for the child to automatically gain citizenship. This would close the loophole for birth tourism and reduce the incentive for illegal immigration. Another approach is to enforce stricter penalties on businesses like birthing hotels, which profit from exploiting our laws. We should also tighten the rules around accessing social services, ensuring that only those who have contributed to the system can benefit from it. It's about fairness for legal citizens. The abuse of the 14th Amendment is a slap in the face to every legal American citizen who follows the law and plays by the rules. It's not about being anti-immigrant. America has always been a nation of immigrants, but legal immigrants who follow the law, contribute to society, and respect the process. What we're seeing now is a perversion of that idea. Where opportunists game the system for those who have earned it. Should put from those who have earned it. Oh well. It's time to restore the true meaning of the 14th Amendment and ensure that citizenship and the benefits that come with it are reserved for those who deserve it. Anything less is a betrayal of the American people and the principles of fairness and justice that this country was built on. Okay. Let's see, 11 minutes, well, 12 minutes. Staying right around my 15-minute time frame, which is good. I've researched and found out that, many people don't read, or pay attention more than 15 minutes long at a time now. Wow, I thought I saw a spider web or something flying around my head. Huh. Oh, well. Anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you to my paid subscribers. I hope everybody had a wonderful, joyous 4th of July. I did. I spent a lot of my time across the street with my brother. We had we got a fire going, and we just sat around and watched our little itty bitty town put on its 30-minute fireworks show that they do every year, just right up the hill. Well, right up the hill here at the old city town hall. They got big. Well, it used to be, it was a gym, library, municipal building, everything all in one building right over here. And now they've moved it downtown, but they have a 4th of July fireworks show. The fire department puts it on in the parking lot up there every 4th of July now. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. They do a pretty good job. I'll have to give my town that, But anyways, y'all have a great and wondrous day. And hey, we're winning, y'all. We're winning so big, it's unreal. And like I said, this 14th Amendment, I read somewhere the other day that the Supreme Court is going to come to a decision or something on this, or make remarks about this in the very near future, before this year is over. So it's going to be the next big thing. The first one was the big, beautiful bill that's apparently going to throw me off of my disability, according to my children, but it's not. It's going to throw all the people who don't deserve to be on it off. And that's why I can't make my kids understand. I thought I had them, y'all know about what happened to my youngest, and when they all came up here for that one Christmas and everything, it was great. And I thought I had them convinced, and all this. And now they're back to watching the news. And I hate to say it, they're watching CNN and MSNBC, which are perhaps the two worst of all of them. And they are hell bent on believing that I am going to be thrown off my disability insurance. I am not going to be thrown off my disability insurance. The only people that are going to be thrown off of Medicaid are the people who are getting it illegally, exploiting the loopholes, and I know everybody out there, everybody knows at least one person, and more than likely it's a member of your own family. So I'm not saying your brother or sister, but like a cousin or an uncle or something, but somebody within your own family that is getting Social Security disability that doesn't deserve it and can work. But because they don't want to work, they they applied for disability, and it took them 5, 6, 7 years to get it before they finally were approved. I filed for disability on August 29th, 2006. Okay. And my back is really screwed up. I had 3 back surgeries then. Okay. In 2006. I have 6 now, but I only had 3 back then. I filed for disability on August 29th, 2006. I was approved and got my first check February 3rd, 2007. That's less than 6 months it took me to get on disability because I deserved to be on disability. I broke my back in half, shattered my L4 vertebrae into 22 pieces. It was horrific. I can barely walk to the bathroom. I have to use a power wheelchair to go anywhere, and it's just, it makes me so angry, and it's so hard to fight the temptation of shouting at my children to try to get through to them. And I'm always constantly biting my tongue and not saying what I want to say because afraid of alienating them. That's the last thing I want to do is alienate my children. When me and her mom when their mom divorced me, I'm not going to go into a pity party here. We're just going to go ahead and end this. Yeah, I'm not going to get kicked off my Medicaid, my disability, and neither are the Americans who deserve to be on disability. It's the ones who don't deserve to be on it, like the hundreds of thousands of illegals. What was it? Elon Musk and Doge found, thousands upon thousands of people who were 150 years old or older that are still getting their retirement checks. What was that one baby he found that was getting disability, but their birth date was like 2046 or something like that. The baby hadn't even been born yet, but yet they've been collecting retirement. Those are the ones that are being kicked off Medicaid. That's what's draining Medicaid to the breaking point right now, is all the abuse of it. And once we get rid of all of the abusers off of it, and the money starts going back into it instead of flying out of it at light speed, it'll build itself back up. But man, it's so hard to talk to people these days because they are so brainwashed by the mainstream media into believing false narratives and the talking points that they are told to push, that it's hard now. I mean, I didn't realize it until just a little while ago, well, not a little while, a couple of days ago, when I was talking to my children about, they're terrified that I'm going to get thrown off Medicaid. But I don't know. Anyways, time will tell. Y'all have a good one. Bye.